If you have been following the news lately, you may have heard that possibly a new coronavirus is spreading in China. Virus was first discovered in the city of Wuhan in December 2019, and is now spreading rapidly, especially in the city of Wuhan. Virus has also spread to all other Chinese provinces as well. In addition to China, at least isolated infections have been already reported in USA, Singapore, South Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, and Japan, and there are suspected cases detected in Australia also. At least 17 infected persons have already died because of this new virus. Likely the number is higher than this, as most likely several deaths caused by this infection have gone officially uncounted, just because they have been confused as the normal flu. As this is a new and unknown virus, experts do not know how deadly this Wuhan coronavirus will be. Because of the unknown behavior of the virus, and fear of possible massive outbreak, China announced on Tuesday, 21st of January 2020, that it will institute Class A prevention and control measures, which are only used for major outbreaks. This meant that Chinese officials had now power to lock down affected areas and place patients in quarantine if needed. On Thursday, 23rd of January, 10 a.m. local time, local officials declared probably the biggest quarantine in the history, when they announced that the whole city of Wuhan will be placed into quarantine, to attempt to halt the spread of this virus. Wuhan is one of the biggest cities in China and the population is 11 million people, making this most likely the biggest quarantine in the history. Never in the history, this many people have been placed into quarantine. Will this quarantine work? Will it stop the virus is unknown. Also, it's unknown how long this big quarantine will be in place, or can officials even sustain it. It's also unknown what kind of effects it will have to the people living inside the quarantine. Officials started closing off all public transportation, including airport, metro system, railway network, ferries and all bus traffic. Buses, trains, and flights out of the city are being cancelled. Videos from the city of Wuhan showed soldiers and police wearing face masks barricading the entrances to the city's train station, and preventing passengers from entering and leaving the city. Also, outgoing traffic from a couple of nearby cities have been closed. According to some sources, cars were still allowed to exit Wuhan at least on early afternoon, but other sources said that also freeways had been closed by police forces. Authorities informed that they were screening passengers leaving and entering Wuhan, checking for possible signs of virus like fever, and the illegal transport of animals, which are most likely original carriers of this virus. Residents were given less than 8 hours notice of the suspension of all public transportation. Although the possibility of quarantine measures were speculated earlier, and many left from the city just in case, quarantine came to a surprise to many. Footage inside the city shows that this quarantine have caused panic and hoarding of groceries inside the city. Petrol stations are overwhelmed as residents stock up on fuel. Pharmacies have sold out, not only flu medicines, but also face masks, as all residents are now required to wear face masks in public places. Earlier today, people were trying to get out of the city any way they could. There have been also reported cases where sick persons pretending to be healthy have left the area. The effects of this historically significant quarantine remains to be seen.